Hello, your cat over here. I'm exhausted, so I think I'm hallucinating a bit, but let's do it since I can sleep. This is the audio version of Sofia. We are going for chapter 1. Alright, disclaimer, this is a KHR fanfiction. The pairing is Census with an original female character, and this is very much outside of canon, so be aware of that. When it comes to content warnings, this is an AVO fanfiction. In the written story, there is smut. I am not going to read the smut part, mostly because I do not feel comfortable with doing that just yet, and probably never. That being said, I'm likely going to be linking the story below, so if you're interested in reading it, the smutty parts, you're welcome to. Another important warning is this has to do a lot with ethical issues. I was exploring the idea of somebody of our world being reincarnated in a world where they are not only part of the mafia, but they're also included in those typical AVO dynamics in where, there's a lot of consent issues, not in the relationship in particular, but in expectations and perhaps a little overprotectiveness, that sort of thing. Okay, so Sofia, the summary goes, they were both far too young and far too bored to know better than to be friends. After, they were just too attached not to be. Which is a lame summary, but I was still learning to do summaries, so don't judge me. Travel number 1 is called Garden, and it goes like this. They meet by sheer coincidence. She's kept mostly isolated, out of the reach of the other members of the house but her caretakers, and although it's a lonely childhood, Sofia never was one for big crowds, not even before she died. But he, in all of his 10 years of age, likes to explore the fort. Perhaps because of how much older than him his brothers are. And Santos is a sky. Unlike her, he's a social creature. Sofia is just napping under the shade, having escaped the watchful, expectant eyes of her caretakers when he stalks up to her. Who the fuck are you? I haven't seen you before. His voice wants to sound commanding, but the result is more along the lines of petulant. Sofia hums, turning around to look at him blankly. Sofia, and you? That makes him blink. He's used by then to everybody knowing who he is. Even 2 years later, his name is on everybody's tongue during slow days. Sansus of Pongola, Timoteo's bastard son. Bastard or not, Sansus thinks bitterly. He's Pongola. Sansus, he snaps. Why haven't I seen you before? I don't know. Sophia shrugs, fixing up her ponytail, long red hair swaying with the movement. They keep me here for the most part. Why? Sansus asked, surprised at the non-reaction. She shrugs again. I don't know that either. But my nanny's coming, so you should probably go. I don't think you're allowed here. He isn't, she knows. And even if he was, it would be better for both of them if the caretakers didn't find them together, Sophia thinks. It's not until much later, when she's settling down for bed, when she finally notices why the name sounds familiar. Sangsus, as in the manga a lifetime ago, Sangsus of Pongola. She's heard of Pongola, at least, in the whispers of her caretakers, just as she's heard of Don Timoteo. But Sofia hesitates. It's too much of a stretch, like grasping at straws. It can't be that unique a name. Travel number 2 is called Hallway, and it goes like this. Who are you? Santos growls. My brothers won't tell. Sophia blinks. Santos asks his brothers about her, or so she assumes, regardless. If he did, They didn't snitch on him, or her, or nobody thought to recriminate her for interacting with him. Either way, that makes him interesting. She might never have been one of her crowds, but she gets lonely sometimes. Still, I already told you, she frowns. I'm Sofia. He growls again, crowding her against the wall loud in the deserted hall they're in. Who are you? She steps back, eyes wide. Nobody has ever growled at her before, not properly. Grumbled, yes. Even snapped a few times. Sofia had been lectured more times than she can count, but she has never, not once, been properly growled at. Still, she finds herself baring her fangs, pushing him back. Sofia! That has him inclining his head to the side. You pushed me. And you growled at me. Somehow it seems incredibly rude. Growled! Sansu rolls his eyes at her. So you are Sofia? Yes, she huffs, scurrying away. I told you already. Maybe her escapade can wait for another night. Where are you going? She turns around just long enough to bury her fangs again. My nest. Well, not really. She won't risk that one. But the one in her bed will do. Travel number 3 is called Growl. Sofia is back in the garden, sunbathing while using her book as a pillow. She yawns, opens one eye to look at him, and then rolls over, showing him her back. Hey! Sansus growls. Don't do that. He runs around her, crouching in front of her face. She makes a point of showing him her fangs. Fine. He comes back a few moments later, taking her hand and pressing a smile shiny shell on it. There. Unimpressed, she's about to simply leave him to his own devices when she notices the look on his face. Oh, maybe Sansus is lonely too. Fine. Only because I'm bored. She pockets the shell anyway, ignoring his eyes on her. Don't growl at me. You can take it. Sansu sits down beside her, crossing his legs. You pushed me. Sofia rolls her eyes. Of course I did. Why are you surprised? She turns on her back to see him better. And I still don't want you to growl at me. Sansu huffs. I'll growl at you, he decides. But I'll give you a shell every time I do. No, she sits up, leaning into his face with fangs bared. 2 and a pretty rock. 2? Saxus glares. It took me forever to find the first one. It took you 5 minutes. She sniffs. Are you saying you can do it? Of course I can. Good. Then that's how it'll be. Sofia drops down on the ground, settling down to enjoy the sun. This is travel number 4, called Little Brother. What is he doing? Enrique raises a brow, peering at their little brother through the window. Looking for shells. Massimo shrugs, but he's smirking from behind his hand. Shells? Enrico blinks, turning around to his brother's desk. What is taking him so long? There are thousands of them. Not good enough, apparently. Federico rolls his eyes, picking up his things before leaving the room. Massimo and Enrico share an exasperated look. Federico is far too prim and proper. Right. Massimo waves that away. They need to be shiny and whole. He smiles, leaning forward. I think he made a little friend. Huh. Enrico relaxes. Good. Sanchez doesn't get along with any of the other kids his age, though admittedly, he knows very few of them. I could take him to the beach. I'm sure he'll find some there. True. Emily sneaks one more look at her little brother. See if he'll tell you about them. Gossip, Enrico sighs, but doesn't deny his brother. He approaches Sanctus calmly, crouching down to peer at the shells his little brother is inspecting. Hey son, what is it? Sanctus cradles the shells closer to himself and eyes Enrico suspiciously. I found 5, he explains after a while, but I like rolling, so I need more. Alright. Massimo blinks. What about this one? He picks it from under the bushes, offering it to the kid. It's not shiny, Sansu sighs, exasperated. They like shiny things, Mama said so. Choosing not to ask, Massimo nods. How about I take you to the beach? You can see Sanso's eyes narrow in thought. There will be rocks too, he decides. Okay. He picks up his pocket and looks at Massimo expectantly. And that's it for the first audio chapter of Sofia. Let's see how it goes. I am actually thinking I'm getting better and better at this with time. I'm having fun. This chapter is a little on the short side. As time goes by, they're gonna get longer, I think. But it was before I made the rule about a minimum number of words for each trouble, so this one is very much on the shorter side. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am a little worried about the first trouble because I did that while sleep deprived and pretty much just running on, I don't know, insomnia and spite, probably. Guys, in a completely unrelated note, I bought some lavender incense and a little fan from eBay. The fan for because I like going to the park and working on the park, and I wanted something to help me keep fresh, help me stay fresh. I think it's helped me stay fresh. Sometimes I mess up like the way the English language works. Either way, I wanted something to keep me fresh in this summer, so I bought it, and it's so cute, and I love it. Got that like this little tree. It's a little paper fan, and got like a little charm on it. I find it beautiful, and I love the drama of it. I need to learn how to snap it close to emphasize a point. I need to learn to do that. It gives me life. And the incense arrived today. I have a lot of lavender incense now, which makes me happy. Just on little updates today. Yeah, I think my sleeping schedule is all over the place because I always have had a hard time falling asleep. And yesterday I ended up falling asleep at 8, woke up obviously in the middle of the day. My shell is just messed up. But it's about the little joys in life, isn't it? And I have a little paper fan. I got the little incense cones, so I'm happy with that. I bought myself a little board so I can do some manifesting. I borrowed the idea of this H3 Bella Porch interview. She mentioned having a little board beside her bed with like 3 goals, so she could see it every day, every morning as she woke up. I thought the idea was very, very smart. So I already have my little goals written down. So I'm excited about starting to use that. Yeah, that's about life updates of it. I think that's all there is to it. Right now, nothing exciting. I'm trying to think about going to the zoo tomorrow, so let's see how that goes. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this chapter. Bye bye, see you later.